Just because a man calls himself a woman doesn't make him a woman. And just because a woman calls herself a man doesn't make her a man. A man cannot have a child. A man cannot breastfeed a baby. But CDC says that a man can breastfeed a baby. And they can actually give you tips on how that man could breastfeed a baby. Now we're on borderline psychosis right now, borderline schizophrenic. In this world we live in, we've gotten so far away from God. But I don't want to get too deep into it. Yo, roll the clip.
The CDC is now bending over backwards to make it possible for men to breastfeed babies. Of course, that's really creepy, but it's also medically dangerous. The drug metoclopramide is usually used to stimulate milk production in women who aren't able to provide as much for their babies. Metoclopramide might be able to make men secrete certain substances from their nipples. Now, of course, this isn't at all to be conflated with breastfeeding. Breastfeeding contains certain nutrients that are essential to the child. Of course, water, various sugars, fats, things the child needs, as well as a series of hormonal triggers, antibodies, and other means and methods the child might be able to use to develop soundly, fight diseases, and manage certain levels of infant stress. Men do not provide this when secreting substances from their nipples. You're more likely to see a very weird blend of water, sweat, and fat, along with, dangerously, an untested substance in children, metoclopramide. Now, of course, the CDC is bending over backwards to try to be as affirmative and inclusive as possible, making sure that everyone knows that it's important to give transgender women, otherwise known as men, the opportunity to breastfeed. Only it's not just the weird mix of chemicals that are causing a few red flags to pop up with those of us with common sense. We all understand that there are a series of neurological and chemical triggers that cause a woman to desire to breastfeed her child. Men, when they reach a certain age, only have one neurological trigger regarding breasts, and that's sexual. So if you're a man who desires to breastfeed, that's not parenting, that's perversion.
This is from the actual CDC website offering advice to men who want to masquerade as women on how to chest feed babies. There is nothing about the significant risks to a baby, not to mention torture of an infant trying to suckle at the fake breast of a man who 9 times out of 10 will be getting off sexually. This is the CDC. It's disgusting. The Daily Mail went to actual doctors who said the CDC has a responsibility to disclose the lack of research and the potential risks here, and pointing out that one of the medications used to force a man to produce milk has been linked to heart issues in babies. Heart issues in babies, not to mention the amount of hormones that baby's going to be drinking in. Most of us won't even have a glass of wine while we're breastfeeding our babies, but this is fine. We're gonna let the babies get tortured and potentially have heart issues so that some man can get off.
Oh my god! I don't know what to do.
Oh, I put it over here.
The baby has been able to latch, but I've not been able to produce any milk. It's okay, because we're gonna supplement the feeding with formula so that my baby's still getting the nutrients that they need. I appreciate you so much for all your work.
And I appreciate you also, baby. I couldn't have done it without you.
DC is forcing me to label myself as the mother, and that's not the case. Paterna is the mother.
This whole birth certificate thing is really causing me a lot of hurt.
Oh my god, oh my god.